Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Furman BMW, and guess what? We have one of the most iconic BMWs of all time. This is a 2020 BMW M4. And in this little review, I want to kind of focus on, should you be looking for a 2020 M4 knowing that there is a redesigned, totally redesigned 2021 M4 that is ready to be unveiled sometime this year. But let's talk about BMW history a little bit. BMW been around since 1916. Do you know what was going on during 1916? That was World War I. BMW made airplanes and airplane engines. After World War I, Germany needed some cheap transportation, and that's where BMW got into motorcycles and then eventually cars. This M4 is kind of a little bit of a touchy subject for a lot of BMW aficionados. For many years, there was just the M3, and that was it. You get your M3 in a coupe, you get your M3 as a four-door sedan. In 2014, that's when they decided, you know what? We want to create a separation, and that's where the M4 badge came about for the two-door, which had a lot of people scratching their head. Well, if it has two doors, why call it an M4? But one thing is for sure, no matter what you call this car, it's gonna bring some performance that may make you wanna just say, you know what, the heck with 2021, this M4, the last of the generation, might be the one to add to your garage. So let's go ahead and dive into this beautiful blue M4. Right off the bat, I love the lines. Classic BMW lines brought in with a 21st century flair. Headlight design, blacked out interior, you got your daytime running lamp, turn signals and everything, all LED. I love the way BMW's doing their halo design now. My only zonk, especially for an M car, is this top piece of shiny chrome area. It should all be totally blacked out. I think that would just totally clean up the look. As we come down, we do have functional venting. Love the nice curves and design of the front fascia, everything functional. And the great part is, it doesn't need a bunch of extra, splitters or a lip spoiler or anything like that. Now, as we come across that iconic grille, this grille shape, that kidney grille shape, it's changed a little bit over the years. It's kind of gotten expanded a little bit as the size of vehicles have grown, but this is something iconic. The vertical slots, there's your M4 badge. Now, when you hear M stands for motorsport, and definitely with the BMW M4, you're gonna get a lot of that great performance from all their years of racing at Le Mans, the German Touring Car Championship, and so many other different race series. I like the way everything is blacked out. You work your way down, a little bit of flat black to match what's happening on the corners, but definitely has that M3/M4 aggressive look. That BMW badge, Bavarian Motor Works. We get up onto the hood. My favorite part of this hood is the power bulge center right there. It's a nice U shape. Right, it's a raised area, looks great, and then you have two body lines that kind of V off from this middle section. It gives the car such a mean, purposeful, muscular look that I think a lot of people want when they're going for their German performance cars. Now, as we come around the bend, you have this beautiful cross-lace wheel setup, obviously gonna have the M logo for motorsport, and what you're looking at is a 20-inch wheel, 265 on the width, 30 series sidewall. Of course, you're gonna have some performance tires wrapped around these wheels. Those are those Pilot Sport tires. Not the Cup 2s, but you're gonna get some stick and some durability. Sneaking behind these 20-inch wheels, look at the size of those rotors. You could eat a Thanksgiving Day turkey off of it. It's a two-piece rotor. I love the way the M logo is right on the hat. Now, if you're wondering, well, what's the hat? The hat is this part of the rotor, and that's the actual rotor itself. Cross-drilled and ventilated, and you have 4-piston Brembo calipers. I am going to zonk that. I would like to see 6 Brembo calipers, 6-piston Brembo calipers on this particular set. But I do like the blue to match the blue paint on this M4. Now, as we go down the fender, you have the traditional side venting with your M4 badge. Flat black with a little bit of gloss, very, very tasteful. I think one thing that BMW does a great job on is their side mirrors. They really have a nice, sexy look to them. You can see the way that they've been shaped in a wind tunnel on that CAD design computer setup. You have the gloss black, your turn signals built in, carbon fiber roof. So on this M4, carbon fiber roof to cut weight. You're gonna cut almost 10 pounds off the top of this M4 that's going to lower your center of gravity. M4 two-door into that nice triangular quarter window. You have a little bit of a sill extension, nothing too crazy. And then when we work out our way out back, now when we look at the back setup, you're actually getting a little bit wider tire to get the traction to the ground, because guess what? At the end of the day, this is a rear-wheel drive car still, which is what I love about the M4 and M3s. Nice, strong, prominent line that goes all the way to the rear. And then on the trunk, you just have a little bit of a trunk kick-up, which is nice because on the front, we didn't have any extra additional spoilers or anything like that. So it's nice just to have a clean look. You can see the indentation in the top of the trunk. And then as we drop our way down, look at this exhaust. This is the way it should always be. Quad tip. You got the M badging on it. That is your optional M Sport exhaust, but really, really clean. Even the way that they did the side here, very, very nice to match the front. Full LED lighting and just that great BMW performance. But why don't we pop the hood and see what is powering this M4. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. You can see where that power bulge area was that I showed you up top. Underneath that power bulge is definitely the power. That is a 3-liter inline 6, which means that's a straight 6, turbocharged engine, 425 horsepower, 406 pound-feet of torque. What's wonderful is BMW still gives you the option. You could go with a 6-speed manual or a 7-speed dual clutch transmission. The car weighs around 3,600 pounds, 0 to 60 in around 3.9 seconds, quarter mile in 12 flat, a top speed of 174 miles an hour. And if you're wondering about MPGs, 16 in the city, 22 in the highway. I think my favorite part opening up the hood of any M4, M3 is this beautiful wet weave carbon fiber bracing that they put at the front of the car to stiffen it up. And then of course, seeing that M logo and knowing all that history with the inline 6 in this BMW M4 and M3 combination just really brings back a lot of great memories. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this M4 and see what it sounds like. All right, guys, we're inside the BMW M4. Last time this generation, should you get one of these before the 2021s come out? I know you're probably wondering, well, Joe, I'm liking this particular one. It's got a few options. I'm sure you could probably hear that exhaust raspy, very raspy sound coming from the back of the car. How much is it? You're looking at MSRP of around $90,000. Let's see what you get for the money. Now, on the door panels is that German simplicity that I love. All dark material. You do have the nice dark chrome finish. This one has the Harman Kardon optional sound system. Love the stitch work, and you even have a pocket down there to fit your German Twinkies, no problem, while your driver is carving the corners. Now, as we get to the dash, very, very far forward, you can see all the beautiful stitch work, nice black chrome finish here, the wet weave carbon fiber coming all the way across. That is a nice 8.8-inch horizontal infotainment system. What's nice is that if you want to touch it, you can. And if you want to use the iDrive controller, you could use that as well. You could put your 3 different screens up there. We go back into navigation. It's actually real easy to go through, navigate through, no pun intended. Actually, maybe pun intended, I changed my mind, but very clean, clear graphics. Let me show you the backup camera on it. That's gonna blow your mind. So you have all that nice sensing technology. The rear camera is a little grainy, so I am gonna zonk that, but you are getting your trajectory, and like I said, you're getting all that wonderful protection as you go around. You could get your 360. Obviously, we have the doors open, so it's not gonna show much on that, but very easy to navigate through. Let me put it back into park here. Now, when it comes to the actual setup here, here's where it's a little interesting. You actually have your door lock and unlock button here on the infotainment stack area in between the AC vents. So something to remember if you're gonna open up the door for someone and it's locked. Radio control, slim and trim. You have your dual climate control, heated seats, but no ventilated seats. That is a major zonk, $90,000 zonk on this particular car. A little bit of gloss black. You can see the stitch work, the bright red start-stop button. We have 2 cup holders, which I believe it or not, I'm gonna zonk because there's no lid, but you do have a lid for this other area where you could put, I'd say about 7 Jolly Ranchers, and there's a 12 volt in there. So kind of shows its date, how old this particular generation is by not having a USB in this area. And there's nothing even in the cup holders like you see on some of the other models, but you do have the beautiful stitch work, the carbon fiber. This is gonna control that 7-speed DCT transmission. You have your buttons on the side to go, and you could adjust the stiffness of the suspension, because remember, we have active dampers, all 4 corners. You could actually adjust your steering feel and everything. There's 3 different modes. And then here's that BMW iDrive control, real easy to use. You hit menu, and what you'll find is that once we get back to home, there's our menu there, and then you could scroll through your different features. We could go into My Vehicle, you could go into Vehicle Status, and we could check all different things from tire pressure to when was your last oil change and all that good stuff, and then we could go right back. So nothing really complicated, easy to use. More carbon fiber. Here's something you just don't see very often, a good old-fashioned e-brake with the stitching. It's kind of hard. It's like an old Bavarian cream donut, like a stale donut. So not the most comfortable armrest, but I love the stitch work. You open it up, and guess what? We have wireless charging, a USB, no other space in here really. So if you're gonna store your Twinkie somewhere, it's gonna be in the door pockets. Seats though are drop dead gorgeous. I mean, look at this. The stitch work, the M4 badge, perforated. Look at this. There's actually slots in the seat to help cut weight. That's what I'm talking about. Full power assist on both passenger and driver. You can see how high the bolstering is to hold you in. No sunroof, but I got plenty of headroom. You could do your track day, and you even have 2 seats back there for passengers. Now, I wouldn't recommend somebody on the taller side sitting back there, but still, it's nice to have that flexibility over something like a Corvette. This is, though, something to definitely go up against a Porsche 911 with the 4 seats. But why don't we come over to the business end? I want to show you behind the wheel of this BMW. All right, guys, business end, you have the nice M4 logo. Obviously, this is gonna come off this blue tape to protect it, but you have your M4 badge. Here's your controls for the driver's seat, and you have 2 memory settings, real easy to use. Steering wheel, they do wheels great at BMW. I love the thickness, I love the stitch work, the nice M logo. Flat black on the buttons, that means you're not gonna get fingerprints. And then if you're looking at the paddles, they're a little larger than what you see on most. And what I mean by larger is they're taller, but they're at a really great place to go up and down that 7-speed DCT. Some people would like it if they were actually attached to the steering column. That way, no matter where you're turning, they'll always be in the same spot. See how they brought the carbon fiber over? And then check out the dash. Clean and clear. So you have an analog tach, analog speedometer, and then you can see how they brought some digital display into the bottom section, let you know what gear you're in, your other readouts. You do have an analog coolant and a fuel gauge, and I do really love the gauge cluster hood here. It's got the beautiful stitch work, feels really good. The bolstering, I'll be honest, it's a little bit on the higher side, so you definitely want to take one for a spin before you just buy online. But let's check out the trunk and see how usable this M4 is as a daily driver. All right, guys, time to check out, is this high performance sports car a perfect daily driver? You open it up, guess what? You have plenty of room. Go get the groceries, go on a nice trip with your wife or husband or whoever, and you could put whatever you need for your track day back here. You do have 2 nice side pockets, which is great. And what's nice too is you have a cargo net over there that will hold your Twinkies in place no matter what the G-forces are as you are going down your favorite twisty road. But why don't we get to the best part? If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this M4 for a spin. All right, guys, we're in the 2020 BMW M4 on throttle. That's awesome. Rear wheel drive, spinning up the tires a little bit. I just have it in automatic mode. We've been talking about, should you get one of these or wait for the 2021? I don't know. Sounds pretty good to me to get one of these 2020s right now, especially without knowing everything about the 2020 one model, but definitely the seats feel snug as a bug in a rug. Really, really nice. My one zonk is the way that the sport seats are. I don't like how far back you have to reach to get the seat belt, but other than that, the bolstering, at least for my body type, is spot on the money. Depending on your body type, you might want to sit in one and take one for a test drive before you buy, because you may think that it's a little too much of a squeeze play on you. But definitely the way the dash and everything is set up in here makes sense, feels very, very purposeful. I don't like the open cup holders. It just doesn't fit the classy look in here with all the carbon fiber and everything. It would be nice if that was finished off, but it's great the way you could adjust individually the suspension stiffness, the weight of the steering, how the whole transmission and everything behaves with the engine. Speaking of that, I'm gonna put it into sport shift mode where I could use the paddles. Tells you what gear that you're in. I'm gonna drop down to third, second gear, on throttle, here we go. Very, very quick shifting. The sound is superb. I absolutely love the sound. The weight of the steering is great, super smooth. Let's see how she handles into this right-hand bend as we're making a right-hand turn here. Very, very nice. Look at this, super nice. Here we go, on throttle. The sound is just, it's intoxicating. That's what I love about a straight six turbocharged engine with that sport exhaust. It has a great sound, it has a great feel. Another thing that I like about this M4 is that as you build the revs, the tachometer has that built-in rev indicator as well, which is great to let you know that you're getting close to that shift point as you get closer to 7,500 RPM. You do have a head-up display. All it displays though is the speed limit and your actual speed of what you're going. I wish that it did have a gear indicator, at least in manual mode, which would be nice. But the shifts, so smooth. The only indicator that you have is in the lower portion of the tach. I wish it was somewhere higher so you didn't take your eyes off of the road, which is the most important part. But second gear on throttle really gives you a nice kickback, and like I said, wow, the way that it shifts is just lightning fast, super, super smooth. Would I rather have the 6-speed manual? Of course. I was actually hoping that this one did have the 6-speed manual, but it's okay. We have the dual clutch transmission, still very fast shifting, way faster than what I could shift, but it would be nice to road through your own gears. And you know, it'll be interesting to see, is BMW gonna bring the manual over for the new 2021 BMW M4? But pulling away, you could drive this car every single day. I love that power bulge hood. The infotainment system is easy to get to, where everything is laid out, makes sense, and I'm loving the seats. The bolstering is just really, really nice, the way that it is holding on to my body. Let's see how she does over some rough pavement here. I have it in sport mode setting. There is a Sport Plus, but here's some torn up road. It does hit a little on the stiff side, but you know what? It's nothing too bad that's gonna break your kidneys and just snap your kidneys away from your body. So that's good news. There is Sport Plus, which obviously would take it to another level of stiffness. But very smooth. I love the sounds that are happening as you're driving. And the paddles are a great size. The placement, very, very nicely done with where they put everything on this particular car. All right, guys, let's see how she handles here. On throttle, second gear, here we go. On those brakes, massive calipers, clamping down in this right-hand bend. Great feeling, here we go. Nice, little bit of movement from the rear of the car. Super planted. Wow, look at this thing. Wow, the feedback is wonderful. They did a great job with the feedback in this vehicle. And that was something that over the past few years in BMW products, it seemed like that driving engagement had gone bye-bye. but I really, really love what's happening with the front end of the car as it transmits that information to the steering wheel. I can feel the amount of grip that it has and exactly what is going on with it, which is so important if you want to have that confidence. Because remember, not only can you use this as a daily driver, you can take this to a track day and you can turn some incredible times, especially because it lets you feel confident. But back on throttle, really, really smooth. Even through this long sweeper, holds the line really nice. I love these BMWs, M3s and M4s. I personally would go the M3 route. Even with the 4 doors, I actually like the look a little bit more than the 2-door M4 look on it. But the power delivery, you're not waiting for the boost to really kick in. It comes in at a nice RPM, nice and smooth. Second gear, I just wish I had a manual. That put a bigger smile on my face. But definitely very fast shifting and definitely has the performance. Great visibility. You got enough room in here to get that helmet on for your track day, your autocross event. You could do that in this car and then go pick up the kids from school. That's how good it is. But hopefully this gave you a nice overall feel of what the car is about. We're gonna wrap this one up and get back to Furman BMW. So we will see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another great day here at Furman BMW. Definitely got to thank Alan and the rest of the crew. What can we say about this M4? It definitely brings a powerful performance punch. Should you wait for the 2021? It's risky when you do that. There's still a lot of unknowns about that car. This one, tried and true, it's ready. You could drive away with it and enjoy it instantaneously, because you know what? You may not like the 2021 M4 when you see it. But if it's cars like these that you want to keep seeing on the channel, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit the subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the REDESIGN family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description. Get yourself some REDESIGN merch. Got to give it up to Big Guns McGee, getting this M4 from one angle to another. Thank you for your hard work. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.